we didn't exactly get the train wreck music queued up. Do I have to make like a train and crash? There you go. There's your train wreck music, Darrin.
This is the segment of the show where we talk about the IRS train wreck of the week. And what that is that's where we talk about somebody who came into the office and they were pretty much a mess. And then ultimately through, our assistance and our help, they ended up with a happy ending.
Darrin prettied them all up, got them all dressed up.
Yeah. So in this particular case, what had happened is I had a husband and wife come in and they had not filed tax returns in a number of years. It's pretty common for people to come in and they haven't filed 5, 6, 10 years worth of returns. We helped them to get their returns prepared. And at the time, the husband was, in the years that we prepared the returns for, he was a mortgage broker, an independent mortgage broker. And you remember back in the days of the real estate boom that I call the Wild West, those guys were making a lot of money. And he wasn't filing his tax returns. But by the time he had come back into me, he had left, his private business because it went under during the Great Recession. And he was back working for a big bank doing mortgage underwriting. But,
that's scary.
Well,
that's scary just from whatever.
I'm making no judgment calls on that, but
it was just my non-biased, non-attorney opinion.
Ultimately, we ended up filing those returns, and he owed $169,000 to $169,248.71. Okay, what we did is we filed what's called an offer in compromise, which is where you can make a deal to settle for less. It's based upon a relatively simple math equation, and it goes like this, real briefly. Monthly disposable income times 12 plus your assets equals the amount of your offer. And so, as a brief example, if your monthly disposable income was $100, 100 times 12.
Meaning that's all you have left after all your bills are paid.
After all your allowable expenses, all you had was $100. 100 times 12 is $1,200. Let's assume you had no assets. You can settle a big case. Doesn't really matter how much you owe for $1,200. Now, this is certainly not a typical situation for people, but that's the formula. So in this case, what we did is we filed an offer in compromise, and we waited because the IRS doesn't have enough people to handle these cases. We waited between 6 months and a year, and ultimately we got that thing settled for $6,504. So I did some fancy calculation. That's 3.8 cents on the dollar.